Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Thank you for joining. We will get started in just about 1 minute or so. But while we're waiting, I would suggest just letting yourself arrive, really this idea of letting go of what has already happened this morning. I imagine that for some of you, you've already had a busy morning, and just letting go what is to come, but really allow yourself to arrive fully, take a couple breaths, and just settle in. And as always, eyes can be open or closed, but just preparing yourself for the day, for the practice. It's so nice to see everybody. All right, I'm going to go ahead and officially start. Yeah, good morning. Good to see everybody. Welcome to our Thursday morning gathering, brought to you by Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare and Tufts Health Plan. Our parent company is Point32 Health. Welcome again, and please look at the bottom of your screen and make sure that you've selected everyone for comments. And if anybody is new this morning, a special welcome to you. And for everybody, these are fully guided. There are periods of silence throughout, usually like 2 or 3 minutes at a time. There'll be some silence, and then you'll hear me come in and just usually because my own mind is wandering. So just checking in. And again, we're not trying to stop thought. We're just deciding that when a thought has slipped unnoticed and becomes noticed, that we're just not going to continue with that train of thought, that narrative, the memory, the planning, the worry. We're just going to release it, allow our bodies to soften, and return to whatever we're going to use to anchor. And I'll talk about an anchor in a moment. But I always feel like it's helpful to offer the reminder that this is not a practice where we are trying to stop thought, have a clear Zen-like mind, that we're, these are misconceptions. But what we're doing is seeing that when a thought has slipped in, we're just not going to entertain it. We're going to let it go, release it. There's always a contraction in the body when a thought slips in, almost always, very subtle. So we soften the body and then we return. And so it's just like an exercise routine for the mind that creates some steadiness. And then we can bring that steady mind into our day-to-day life. So we're better aligned with our own values for how we want to engage, how we want to drive and purchase and talk to others. So the benefits are really far-reaching of this, these few moments that we take daily or daily-ish to settle in and settle the mind. Okay, so having said that, we start off with a question. And being that it is Women's History Month, my question is related to that. And so I would ask you to think about women in your life that have inspired you. So it could be one person that comes to mind. It could be several. But what in particular has inspired you about that person? So what are the kind of qualities and characteristics that woman brings to mind for you? And so, and you can, of course, list the person if you would like. I'm looking more for the qualities, but feel free to say who it might be. But what are the kind of qualities and characteristics of this woman, or a couple of women, or a group of women that have inspired you? And as you are thinking about it, you can go ahead and just put it right in the chat. And one of the reasons that I thought about this is because, and there might be other people here that are also watching Cole Brower. She's the youngest woman to circumnavigate the globe on a sailboat alone. So she's been in this race for the past 4 months. And just fairly recently, I started watching her on Instagram, and then I saw her come in this morning into Spain. So she came in second place. There were 16 people that started, 15 men and her, and she was also the youngest. So really pretty incredible. So I think part of what I feel the qualities and characteristics are kind of her mental strength and agility, which is really kind of mind blowing. Yeah, so let me see. We have things coming in. My aunt, kind. What is better than kind? Breaking barriers. Mother refusing to be silenced. Yeah, in the face of sexism. And Christy, my maternal grandmother who embodied goodness. Yeah, compassionate and kind. Again, her capacity for demonstrating love, strength and kindness, patience and resilience. My mom, she loved with her whole heart and was brave. Yeah, I mean, these are really, really remarkable. Daughter and best friend, kind, resilient, humble, strength, generosity, compassion. Yeah. So, and these are all qualities that we cultivate in these practices. So there's a direct link between, what we are seeing here, the resilience, the bravery, the kindness, the compassion. And as we learn about our own minds, and not only our minds, but you're learning about the nature of everyone's mind, it really calls forth these characteristics and these qualities. In alignment with what everybody is saying, Cole was asked like why she's doing it, and she said that's a question with a lot of answers, but she said the very first thing that comes to me is that she said, I got continually rejected for my capacity to do this. She started sailing in college, so she didn't grow up with it. But she wound up being rejected from a whole lot of races. So her, this capacity to actually be able to work with the rejection and to transform it into incredible strength, driven to continue to pave the way for those coming behind them. Yeah. So it's kind of gives me chills a little bit, to think about the strength and the bravery, but also balanced with this incredible sense of kindness and compassion that all of you are speaking to, which I think that women tend to have both of these in abundance. And so with that, let's go ahead and start. And I'm going to just kick it off with a bit of a body scan, and then we'll land with a more focused awareness, but I'll it'll be fully guided. So taking a moment to find a posture that feels like it's going to work best for you this morning. So that could be, of course, seated, standing, or lying down. They're all fine. If you're tired, I would avoid lying down and maybe standing, or seated, but eyes open if you feel sleepy. But otherwise, you can close the eyes and release what has happened today. See if you can also let go of what is very next, what's the very next even moment. So just releasing that and allowing yourself to fully be here. So the mind and the body are together. The mind has a pretty keen ability to time travel into the past or the future. So in this practice, we're training ourselves to be fully here, and even notice qualitatively what is the difference between being fully here and being lost. And there could be a few different answers to that, but qualitatively, what is the difference? So settling in, allowing yourself to come together, mind and body, whole body awareness, surrendering your weight into the support of the surface. So see if you can soften but maintain a spine that is straight but not stiff. But soften the body, drop the shoulders, rest the arms and the hands in the lap. Feel the support of the earth beneath you. The earth beneath you is able to hold your surrendering in, and aware of the spine, and sitting in a way that's upright and engaged yet relaxed to the degree that you can. Wherever you are able to soften any areas, go ahead and do that. So notice perhaps the face, the jaw. Take a breath or two to settle any surface tension. And bring in this kind of kind, gentle awareness with gratitude for this body we inhabit that carries us around from place to place. And bringing gratitude and softness, kindness to our body. And let's start by bringing our attention to the very top of our head. So we're going to sweep through the body. And as we go through the parts of the body, just simply notice sensations. Perhaps there are no sensations in some areas. That's perfectly fine. It's just about noticing and receiving whatever you are aware of. So starting again, the top of the head, coming down over the sides of the head and the back of the head. And bringing awareness to the face. See if you can soften the area around the eyes. And coming down now around the cheeks and the jaw and the tongue. And again, in this part of the body, see if you can bring some kind attention, some softness, letting go of any holding. Moving awareness down over the neck and shoulders. What sensations are making themselves known? So the idea is that you're feeling from the inside out. So what do you notice? Coming down over the upper arms, the forearms, the hands. Isolating this region of your body. And again, bringing some gratitude. And see what sensations or lack of are making themselves known in this part of your body. And perhaps your arms and hands are touching another part of the body. That's something to be aware of. Perhaps there is a tingling or temperature that you're aware of. Again, feeling from the inside. And releasing that and coming to the torso. So isolating this larger part of the body, with the front, the back, internally, again, with a kind of soft receptivity, gentle awareness. What's there? Coming down over the hips and thighs. And again, softening, feeling from the inside, and noticing points of contact. And perhaps if you're seated, if you're standing, noticing what's required in this large muscle group area to keep you upright. What does it feel like from the inside? Moving to the knees, so both the left and the right. And coming down over the shins and the calves. And noticing sensation or lack of sensation. Moving awareness now to the feet. So the top of the feet, the toes, the soles of the feet, the heels, the ankles. So isolating this part of the body in your field of awareness. And release. Coming back now to whole body awareness. And notice if there are any other areas that are calling for your attention. And simply taking a moment to receive whatever sensation is happening in that particular area of the body. It may be pleasant or unpleasant. And just for a moment, we're going to expand awareness now to include sound that may be in the room or outside of the room that you're in. Engaging hearing. And bringing awareness back inward. And we're going to narrow the focus of awareness now on breath sensation. Anywhere in the body you notice it. You could use another body sensation like a different part of the body that is touching the surface. Could be the palms of the hands on the top of the thighs. You could also use sound if there's a consistent sound in your background. And each time the mind wanders, you simply return to either that feeling, wherever breath sensation, sound, or another body part, so palms on the thighs. And I'll be silent for the next several minutes. So as you notice that the mind has wandered, a thought will slip in. There will be a moment you'll notice it. And you can say thinking, just a soft mental note. Let your body soften and return to your anchor. Kind of like weightlifting for the mind. And notice where your mind is. Soft mental note thinking, soften the body, and return to your anchor. And as we bring this meditation to a close, may we be peaceful and at ease. May our hearts be soft and open. May we be safe and protected, and our bodies healthy and strong. And may whatever good comes of our practice benefit all beings. And as you're ready, if your eyes were closed or even if they were open, it's helpful to take a little bit of a gaze around the room that you're in. So maybe do a little bit of a stretch, just reorient. Um, I don't know how many people were on yesterday, but speaking of iconic women, I shared it was a quote by Barbara Streisand, who was asked by Fran Drescher from The Nanny. I'm dating myself, but some of you might remember. But she said, what was the single most valuable lesson that you ever learned in acting class? And she thought for a minute and said, simplicity. And then she went on to say, our teacher taught us just to be still and do nothing, to notice our bodies, to go to a tapping foot, to experience being fully human. And that was the most important, really informed her acting career, really inhabiting her body. And that's what we just did. You know, we took 14 minutes of the practice of really inhabiting our bodies, knowing what's going on, seeing how thoughts and emotions impact our bodies. And so I wanted to just kind of close the practice with Barbara Streisand's thought about her most valuable advice. So we've got a couple minutes. So if anybody has anything that they would like to offer or to share, it could be a quote or a poem or a podcast that you've been listening to that you've enjoyed. You could, if you have a question or an observation, even an observation about how the practice was for you just now, or something that you might be confused by, or you just generally have a question about. So we've got a little bit of time. Oh, and I also, in the Blinkist this morning, the book was The Dopamine. Talked about the addiction to exciting. Very interesting. Yeah. I have one thing to share. So while you're thinking about a question or something that you want to share, I forgot to show this yesterday if you were on, but we've been doing some work again with Dr. Judson Brewer, and Judd is an MD, PhD, and he's head of Brown University's mindfulness program. And he did an event for us yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before? March 5th. And it was mainly for clinicians. And he's got another one that everybody is invited to. So let me just share. And I would say, if you've got your phone handy, just go ahead and take a picture of this. But all the details are at point32health.org/the-hunger-habit. point32health.org/the-hunger-habit. And we are super excited. So March 19th from 12 to 1. You don't have to be a member of Harvard Pilgrim or Tufts Health Plan, that you could share this with your friends and family. And Judd is great. He has a couple TED Talks, so you can get a sense of him. And then we're also doing a really interesting follow-up with our wonderful instructor, Kel Juilliard, who's going to do a series of 4 workshops in the evening, 45 minutes each, from 6:30 to 7:15, where he's essentially just going to break down the lessons that Judd talks about in the hour presentation and spends a little bit more time talking about them. So I highly recommend this. And the other thing is, you don't have to have read the book, and you don't have to attend all 4 sessions that Kel is offering. So you can you could just go to one of them or 2 of them. So I am going to stop the share. I think a few people in the session yesterday saw Judd. So spent time with my 6-year-old niece last week, and the 2 of us were sitting on the porch, and she said, "This is where I like to come to quiet." Oh, yeah. I mean, there is something really powerful in stillness. And these days, I think, especially for younger people, because there's so much to be distracted by, it makes it actually harder to sit with the busyness. Oh, Loretta, you went to the talk. Great. Talking about mindfulness being the key to seeing everything, right? So it's, yes. And the one that he does on the 19th is for everybody. If you went on the 5th and you want to come again on the 19th, I'm sure that it's essentially the same talk, but there might be some different aspects to that talk. Well, we're at 9 o'clock. And so I just want to thank everybody for joining me this morning, and just really delightful way for me to start the day. And we'll see you next week on Tuesday. And I think that's all I've got. All right. Okay. Bye, everybody. Have a good weekend.